plan for you and still wants to use you, despite what you're going through. And your past is the past. However, it is going to be the lead way for you to help other people
Yeah.
that you're getting ready to meet.
Very good. And so when you were going through the child custody battle, and thank you for
Mm-hmm.
sharing that. And again, it's actually chapter. She said
Day 7.
day 7, meaning and value. So when you were going through the child custody battle, a new experience, overwhelming, heavy, painful, and uncomfortable. Uh, Tell us. So at that time, I'm sure you had no idea that that experience then would today serve as an opportunity to um, share that with someone, because you never know, someone could be listening who's going
Right.
through whether it's divorce, separation, child custody battle, or just some kind of horrific situation. They just don't know how to deal with it and more or less hold on in hopes that they will get through it,
Right.
right?
You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you basically think that this is how your life is going to be
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of your life. So again, praying and gaining that intimate relationship with God. When I say intimate relationship with God, I want people to understand He's your creator. He is, when I say He's my daddy,
Mm-hmm.
He is my daddy. He's the one that has my back. He will never leave me nor forsake me. That's one of His promises that He's given me. And so He's shown me even through the darkest moments. And you can see, I'm a living testimony. I'm here now.
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to write a book.
Right. And so when you look back at that moment and just some other moments in your book, when you kind of look back hindsight now, you're on the other side of it, you're going through your healing journey, just a different place. Can you look back? Shirley said amen, right? Shirley, amen.
Amen.
You just never know. When it's a dark time, it just seems like the light's never going to come.
Right.
Like your light of hope can become so dim, and the darkness can seem overwhelming, right? To the point you think, okay, well, where is God? Is God still here? Can I count on God? Can I trust God? And going back to what you're saying, just that foundational thing of having an intimate relationship with God. When you can't trace Him, can you still trust Him?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's when you have to really kind of lean on your faith. It's like, well, God, you said you would never leave me nor forsake me. So I'm counting on the never part. Like
Right.
that. Like that means like right now you're
I need
here
you
and
like
to
as of
show up,
yesterday.
right? And to show up and just demonstrate, because that's in your Christian walk, or what my walk is a Christian walk, because I believe in God and believe in God, and whatever your walk is and believe in this higher force. I do believe there become moments, because in order to know if your relationship has any substance, it has to
Right.
be just kind of tested, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you really love me until that's like demonstrated, or if it plays out in certain ways. When I look at certain experiences I've had, yeah, thank you, Joanne. She said, you've got to hand it over to God. He knows
Yes.
everything, right? And
Yes.
He knows what's best
Mm-hmm.
for us. And that can be very challenging, because you're in a dark, heavy, overwhelming situation, especially one of our big life situations. You're just like, okay, well, God, I don't know where you are. It feels like you're on. This is what I got. So my mom and my grandmother, they're like God's. I think they're on His faves list or something. Like they have that speed dial, and like, and so when I feel like I can't get a prayer request through, I was like,
Yeah.
well, I need you to put my mother or my grandmother on hold, because I know they're on the phone with you tying up the line because I need to get this prayer request to it. I need you to move now. So it's funny, my mom, put my mother on hold and tell her you'll get right back to her. I know she's your favorite, but please know that I need you like
Mm-hmm.
right now, God, right? And so,
And it doesn't matter what your level is when it comes to how long you've been on that journey, that in that relationship with God. You're always going to be tested. So I don't want anyone out there, if you're just starting your walk with God, or if you've been thinking about it. I'm talking to everyone on all levels right now. Know that He cares for you.
mhm,
Um, it sometimes I think that people can get wrapped up in, okay, well, I've been on this walk, so my faith is on level 10. You will be tested. You will be tested, and He just wants you. He's growing you. He's
yeah,
growing you, and it's not for right now. It's for where He's taking you.
mhm,
So just know that He still has you covered, and He will always send the right people in your life to give you that safe and secure community.
yeah,
Even though it looks dark, just enjoy the process, because as you look back, you'll say, okay, well, when this happened, He put this person in my life. If I didn't know this person, then I wouldn't have been connected to this person who actually made this dream come true. You just have to enjoy the process and know, God, I know you have my back. I
Right.
know you have my back. I know that you didn't place me on this earth just to have me go through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay in prayer even when you feel like you can't pray. I want someone to know that your tears count as prayers too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even have the strength
Yeah.
to pray for
I've
ourselves.
had moments like that
Yes.
where I just didn't have any words. I would just crawl into bed sometimes because I'm thinking, okay, well, God, like the pain could be so overwhelming, or you find yourself like in this crucible where
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, and it's, I feel like it's all internal, but then you have external aspects as well. Which like, okay, it's this crucible where you feel like, I really don't have any words for you right now. So
Right.
I hope you can hear like the cries from my
Mm-hmm.
heart in terms of like, help me show up, guide me,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And just let me know. And for me, it's like demonstrate, God, that you're here for me, that you have given me this assignment, that I'm on course based on what I am uniquely created to do here on earth. I'm not trying to fulfill anyone else's vision for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to walk out anyone else's purpose for my life. I asked you, I said, well, God, you've spared my life so many times because I've been
Right.
in so many weird situations where I could not be here right now. I could not be having this
Exactly.
conversation with you. And you can look at my book, You Are Enough, and find out
Yes.
details about that. Like, oh, thank you, God, I'm still here. That means my life has even more purpose
Value.
and
Mm-hmm.
value. And so
Yes.
it makes it really intentional in how I show up. And like you said, the faith walk and with God is trusting, is never feeling like you have fully arrived. And that's kind of exciting for me, is understanding that, okay, I'm not trying to pretend like I'm fully faithed,
Right.
where it's like I've got my faith is like so big. It's a daily walk for me
Right.
because certain situations I find myself in, it just teaches me to really have that intimate relationship with God where I can just either get quiet and say, okay, God, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to teach me? Where do I go from here? And sometimes just standing still,
Yes.
right? And seeing God move, and just how we met and the opportunity we've had to just pour into one another's lives and just to um, share some of our experiences, how we've asked God for things and how those things have shown up
Yes.
and
Definitely.
manifested.
Mm-hmm.
And stay tuned, we have some bigger things on the horizon. We're
Yes.
stirring the gumbo pot with some other things, so stay tuned. We're working on the roux right now. Working on
Yes.
the roux. We're getting the roux right for
Mm-hmm.
some new things, some things we're working on, and so they're going to be beautiful and amazing. So stay tuned for those. So writing the book was uncomfortable. And thank you for having the courage to open up and share, because you guys get the book. You just, if you are looking for and Shirley said she lost her mother 2 months ago, and God is right here with you, with her. Yes, He is,
Yes.
Shirley. And thank you for sharing.
Sorry
And
to
know
hear
that
about your mom.
you are in our thoughts and prayers, and that your mother's love will always be in your mind, your heart, and your spirit. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And so again, thank you for the courage of writing the book. To someone listening like Shirley, or just someone else listening or watching right now, and they are in a challenging, dark, heavy situation where they just don't know where to turn, or what to do, what words of hope, Chris, would you share with that individual?
Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Um, know that it's temporary. Um, and when it's something that, if it's dealing with a loss, be okay with those emotions for right now. Allow yourself to grieve if you need to,
Mm-hmm.
but just be vulnerable. Be vulnerable with God, and just talk to Him like you're talking to your sister or your brother or your best friend. Talk to Him because He knows it already. However, He wants to hear it from you.
Mm-hmm.
But just be open to what He's telling you. But don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
I mentioned, I shared a life experience that I had some years ago, and you'll see just from reading the book, you'll see how he got me through it. Some very, very dark spaces. Uh, don't give up.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I will say is do not give up.
Yeah, don't give up and hold on to hope. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Miko, thank you for
Hi,
tuning in,
Miko.
Miko. Yeah, that's really good advice, is don't give up, because when the
Mm-hmm.
Bible says this too shall pass, Meaning like life is this continuum where it's constantly flowing and we can all attest to moments where we've been in a situation if it felt like they weren't going to ever end or we weren't going to ever get on the other side. But if you don't give up, if you hold on to your hope, the best you can, and sometimes it's just a string of hope at times, right? Just a string of hope.
All
Will
it takes is a size of a mustard
That's
seed
just
for hope.
yeah,
Just
just
a
a little
mustard seed.
faith and hope. It's like, God, be with me and show me that you're here, and to know that this too shall pass. And so that's really good. Hold on
Can
to
I share
hope.
a scripture?
Yeah, so she would like to,
Okay.
yeah, sure.
So there's a scripture that is my favorite scripture, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Is that yours too?
I'm gonna let you say. I'm like, you brought it up, so I'm gonna let you state
Okay.
it.
It says, "For I
I know
know
the
the plans
plans I
I have
have
for
for
you,
you.
plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for hope and a future."
I like it.
So if you just hang on and just remind yourself and remind God of His word, let Him know like I'm dependent on your
Right.
word,
hmm
and He will bring you through it.
Yeah, I totally go to God. I was like, you
Mhm.
said never leave me nor forsake me. That means like you should be here now, because never means like you're always present, like always. And so I totally go in. I was like, oh my gosh, if the Bible is accurate on how it actually, oh, and God, and also the scripture says, well, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that
Yes.
you could ask or think. Like, oh my
When I
gosh.
say He exceeds,
I was like, let's test that out. Like,
I'm trying to get you
able
all to
to do exceedingly
understand.
abundantly. Do
Yes,
you know how much, like, I can put a request, like, oh, let's test this and see if the
our
words are true.
minds cannot even
Fathom.
fathom what He really wants to do with us
Right.
and for us.
Which can be exciting and terrifying at
Yes.
the same time, right?
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
okay, God, we are testing out the Bible and the words to see if they're accurate and true. Because otherwise, if you don't get a chance to test out the words, how do you really know that they have any substance or if they're true?
Right.
Like, it's like if someone say they love you and they care about you and they really, really have sincere feelings for you, but they never demonstrate those feelings. Like, well, that seems weird.
Right.
Like, I don't know what that means. Like, I can't really, that has no substance. So I just love having the opportunity, just like, especially that able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think.
Yes.
I go in on that one. I was like, oh, I
Does
have
wonders.
yes, we write down some big things and we're asking God to do big things through us.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in terms of, okay, so book writing journey, you're a published author now, you've had some speaking engagements. And so, um, for someone who's listening and they are feeling a little nervous, apprehensive, or shy about opening up and sharing their book with the world or becoming a published author, they have the desire to become a published author. However, which I talk about, people's like all this internal dialogue about why they, what are people going to say about it? Will people like it or whatever? It's like we've all gone through that. We've both gone through
Yes.
that. What advice would you share to someone who's listening or watching where they have the desire to publish a book? However, the self-talk is so negative until it keeps them from taking at least one step to explore the possibility.
Okay. So one thing I will say is if you're nervous about people talking about you or the book, people are going to talk anyway, whether you do something good or bad. So you might as well give them something to talk about. You might as well give them something to talk about when you know that God has led you to do it anyway.
Right.
So they talked about Jesus. I felt the need to say that.
That's
So
true.
you're going to be okay. I went through it. If you
Same
feel
here.
that pulling feeling, that's Him leading you to do that. You have value.
Tremendous value.
You were placed on this earth for a reason.
Yeah.
God doesn't make mistakes, so you're here on purpose.
Yeah. And that each life has purpose as well,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
You are the key. You are the answer to someone's prayers. So whatever you're holding and He placed in you, it's only you that can reach certain people, and that's the reason why you're here. So whatever book that you're wanting to birth out of you, let God have His way.
Yeah.
Let God have His way. Again, okay. Again, it's not about you. It's about the people that you're going to impact with your testimony. Uh, so stay positive. Try to do your best to um, ignore the negativity and
Yeah.
just keep walking. If anything, even if it doesn't feel comfortable, just keep
Keep
walking.
showing up, keep walking. And Joanne Cooper said, "We are perfectly and beautifully made."
Yes,
Amen. Right?
I
The
agree.
source that created us did an amazing thing, and that you're beautiful, wonderful, and amazing as you are. And also,